Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq. I got the Queen, Demetra K. And I am the 5-star general. Say these MAGA people tripping, man. Why you tripping on Chucks and Pearls? Wasn't nobody tripping when y'all was doing y'all thing. We know what that's really about. So we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about a few other things. Let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Without you guys, we would not have a show, and, you know, we really appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with the two intelligent black people and the crazy black Republican. Say, I'm going to start it off with this here. Remember I told y'all about that Hardy Street raid? Well, the DA went back yesterday and she indicted 6 more officers. One of them caught a murder charge. Say, man, that ain't no game on Hardy Street. That was messed up from the gate. We told them it was messed up. I know what went on, but you ain't got the one that you need to go get. You know the one you need to go get is Marsha Todd. Stop playing with that thing and go get it. For those that want to know where I'm at on Tasha Jackson, she done. Say later. You can pick up the phone, you can call your big homie. But either way it go, if Kim don't move on her, county attorney don't move on her, got a strange feeling that little boy up in Austin, Texas, Ken Paxton, gonna move on you. But he gonna send you to jail in the process. What's going on, Donovan?
Hey, you guys, welcome to a Tuesday edition of the War Zone. We are lucky and love to have you guys. Like I said, we learn just as much as you guys from you guys than you guys do from us. We always say this: we're not always right, but we're damn sure not always wrong. So in the news today, and I was talking about it just before we came on air with my Facebook friends, Joe Biden signed into law anti-bias policy. Now, remember, it's policy. It's not codified in law. So when Trump first got into office, he reversed a lot of Obama policies doing executive orders. Now, Biden is in office, and he's reversing Trump orders that he doesn't like. So putting a policy out in regards to anti-bias discrimination could be reversed by the next president because it hasn't been codified in law. Now, one of the things that he addressed, he signed in the private prison reform order. So he doesn't want the federal government doing any work with these, renewing any contracts with these private prisons. He also put in the it's a specific order, the anti-Asian bias order. Now, you guys do know that the Asians are the biggest group and the richest group in the United States, not the biggest, the richest group in the United States. So whatever bias that they're getting to be the richest group, give me some of that bias, okay? But that was a specific order that he put in. Did you guys not notice Kamala Harris, who's Black and South Asian or whatever they call her, she gets in the office and the Asians get a specific item for them, anti-Asian discrimination bias order. Isn't that funny? She just got there and immediately she does for her people. She made sure that that order goes in there. Now, remember, he also put in the anti-housing discrimination order, whatever, bias order, right, and discrimination. Those two orders, the prison and the housing, that's an everybody order. That isn't specific to Black people. Stop thinking that crime is adequated to Black. It isn't. None of what was put out there is specific to Black people. Remember that. We have not gotten anything for putting Joe Biden in the office specific to us. Demetra?
Hey, everybody. How are you? Happy Tuesday and everything. I'd like to say thank you to my friend Donovan for my EFF shirt. economic freedom fighters, that of South Africa. It is a political party headed by President Julius Malema, who I have an intellectual crush on. And I one day am going to meet him. Okay, that's on my bucket list. So anyway, if you guys could share this live and so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly, did I say greatly appreciate it? And so today we are going to talk about chucks and pearls. I know the title said something different, but we are going to talk about chucks and pearls first, and then we're going to transition to a whole bunch of other stuff. And so as you guys know, Kamala and Joe Biden, they were inaugurated and all that last week. And the thing that was synonymous with Kamala Harris was the chucks, the Chuck Taylor shoes, basketball shoes, and the pearls, I guess, from her sorority and all of that. And so Black women everywhere, and I'm sure other women too, but we predominantly saw Black women donning these pearls and these chucks in homage to the first vice president, a woman, and a woman of color. We'll call her that for the sake of argument. And so a lot of people just felt like, okay, great, that symbolism. What are these chucks and pearls actually doing for people? And now some people, as Gary said on the other side, has taken a problem with it, but they did not take a problem, have a problem with the MAGA hat. And so we're going to get into the whole conversation about these chucks and pearls. And so, Gary, what say you?
I don't see what the problem is. I mean, you got teachers wearing the shirt to school. It doesn't say anything about a candidate. They are being reprimanded. And I just found it kind of just idiotic for it to even get to that point. You know, we got enough going on, and you want to target people because they decide they want to wear a shirt that says chucks and pearls. Well, nobody had a problem with folks wearing MAGA hats to work or stuff like that. You know, they decorated their cars and MAGA, and it was what it was. But now you want to target people because they're representing the chucks and pearls. Now, I'm not a Kamala or Joe Biden fan, but I'm a fan of what's right. And, you know, I'm not going to sit back and not say something about, you know, the hate that people are incurring because, you know, it is what it is. The MAGA crowd really, and I'm going to be honest with you, man, you took your L, shut the fuck up, man. I'm just being straight up with you because it's silly. It's realistically silly, man, for some of y'all to do and say the shit that you say, but then you want to talk about unity and it's not about race. What the fuck is about? You know, I'm sitting here and you look at the look on my face. You know, what the fuck is it about? You know, you people you don't know what racism is if it slapped you in your goddamn face. You know, but at the end of the day, I say, well, what the fuck you want to wear? You know, you're in the United States of America. I've gone through that even in the school board meeting where you can't wear this or I can wear what I want to wear and go wear what I want to wear. So if you rocking your chucks and pearls, rock your chucks and pearls. And you MAGA people, that shit is over. All that extra shit y'all had out there, you vendors to sell that shit. Don't nobody want that shit no more.
Oh man, you know, that is a beautiful thing that you just said, because you know it's true. This is a country where you're supposed to express yourself. You guys heard the song. It's for James Brown, Dr. Dre, for some of you guys, or NWA, some of you guys remember. But it's just funny how when it comes to us, we have to have a certain style or a way to dress, or it's not appropriate. Look at you sisters with your hair. You got to have legislation that tells you to don't discriminate against you because of your natural hair. White supremacy at its finest. And like, you know, and it's just crazy to me at how many of the boule Negroes out there and just plain dumb Negroes out there will defend this system that has been set up to go against us. Now, Kamala, if you guys see what she has done, she has taken our story as a Black person, and she used every symbolic thing you can do to get the Black vote and to identify with Black people to go where she needed to go. She was the side chick of a Black man because she figured that was a shortcut to getting to the top, and she wasn't wrong in that. She did what she had to do. So she wears the chucks, she wears the pearls, She got her sororo. She goes out there and does her little sororo dance and all that other good stuff like that. And it's that symbolism that keeps us so distracted so simply. It just takes something just that insignificant to where we forget all of the wrong that this woman has done to our community. But, you know, again, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I thought you'd think she would wear her Timbs. You know, whatever happened to that? Remember she was walking around with her Timbs, coming off the jet, doing all that? You know, I mean, it was unorthodox, but it was a subliminal message to get you guys to be excited about her campaign for vice president with Joe. Because remember, when she tried that shit, when she tried to run for president by herself, this shit didn't work.
All right, so I have a totally different take on it, but I first think we should define exactly what a Chuck is, a Converse. It is that of Chuck Taylor, who was a basketball player. It was made roughly in the 1917, something like that. And Chuck Taylor asked that a shoe be made that was more sturdy and, you know, easier for them basketball players to maneuver up and down the court. The shoe was made so that the player could actually have flexibility. It was actually one of the most popular shoes, and then it faded out around the 1950s or so. Then it came back into popularity in the 1980s. In 2003, it was acquired by Nike, and you know it became more popular. They re-revolutionized the shoe. Say that a little bit slower. So the outside looks the same, but the inside is different. It's, you know, to be more comfortable and all of that. But, you know, when I see, especially Black women, you know, wear these Chucks and things like that, I see more money going into the hands of, you know, corporations like Nike. Now, I want to also concede this point because I know somebody will bring up Kaepernick. Yes, Nike sponsors Kaepernick, and they made a shoe and all that. But I should also say that Kaepernick donates all of that money to charity, helping, you know, different communities and things like that. And so it's not actually a money grab for Kaepernick. But there's so many other Black-owned shoe companies. One of them is Abana Shoes. I have actually owned 2 pair of those shoes. And yeah, I know Kanye is with Adidas with Yeezy, but, you know, it's still ran by a Black man. I actually have a pair of those. And countless other Black-owned tennis shoe companies out there that we could be giving that money to. Now, I will say this really quick. Like, the Chucks and the pearls are a symbol of celebration. So I don't really get the correlation with the MAGA hat, you know, and people getting mad at that. We know that the MAGA hat mostly, I won't say absolutely, but mostly stood for hate. Most people wore that, you know, were on some bullshit, for a lack of better words. But I don't really see that being the Chucks. I just think people are buoyant about celebrating that of Kamala Harris. But I mean, to me, it's just really eyebrow raising that we continue to put more money into the hands of people who don't need them. And we got our Black-owned shoe companies struggling to stay afloat. And perhaps because a lot of people don't know about these shoes, but at some point in time, we have to stop falling victims to symbolism while making other people rich.
Ain't much you can say about it. I mean, it's what it is. You say we don't bounce around. So I saw a comment about, you know, what do we think about the cop being shot in Harris County today by somebody that was out on 3 bonds? Well, people already know how I feel about folks with multiple bonds. You know, I think it's bullshit. I'm being honest with you. I really think it's bullshit. You get 1 bond, you need to sit your ass still and be quiet. But if you're out on 3 or 4 bonds, and you know, I don't agree with that. Now, as far as the actual officer being shot, I got a choice in the matter. I'm gonna make some of y'all mad, but it is what it is. Because, you know, should I really give a fuck about an officer being shot, or should I care more about officers shooting innocent people? I think I go the second route. I care more about cops killing innocent people. So I don't have anything inside of me that feels bad. I mean, police officers are no better than any everybody else. This organization has been corrupt since the 1800s. It is what it is. I mean, if you really go do the research on how you could become a cop way back then, all you have to do was know somebody in politics. Wasn't no training involved or whatever, and your friend put you on the police force. And then, you know, if you ended up with a new mayor or something, then that regime went out, and then those people came in, the new ones, and they got to pick their friends who could be cops. I don't really give a damn. I'm being honest with you. You're running around here killing black folk for no apparent reason. And when one of them go down, we supposed to, no, not on my watch. I rock with the ones that's on the ground that we can't seem to justify the killing by the cops.
Yes, absolutely. Vanessa says, Asians did not invent group economics, nor the Indians. It was us that revolutionized this theory in Africa. They gave us Harriet Tubman on $20 for the rich because we don't even have $20 to buy food. Ooh, I know Demetra loved that quote right there. And I'm glad you brought that up, Vanessa, because is the $20 bill, now remember, that actually happened under the Obama administration, and Trump canceled that by executive order. He was about to debut, and he canceled it. Now, isn't it funny how they're throwing all this symbolism out? And that's what I'm saying, why are we still falling for this stuff? But Demetra, what is your take on the $20 bill there?
Well, first, I'd like to agree with Gary, in regards to the cop being shot. We never want to celebrate anybody being shot or, potentially losing their life. But on the other hand, I mean, hell, cops kill black people all day with immunity, get away with it, and, go home to their wives and kids and eat Becky's casserole and, go on and live a great life. And so I just, like I said, I'm not celebrating a cop being shot, but I'm indifferent. It's like, now you see how we feel kind of thing, American Skin-ish. You guys check the movie out. But in regards to the $20 bill that I guess the Biden administration is now wanting to put Harriet Tubman on, I will say this. I think it's an insult to Harriet Tubman, not to put her on the $20 bill, but to think that black people should be happy with, again, some more symbolism. If you know anything about Harriet Tubman, she will want a check for her people. Them going on a $20 bill. I mean, if she was about symbolism, she would have still been in captivity. She wouldn't have made a run for it as many times as she did and brought other people with her. And so I think we do her this disservice by saying, oh, well, yes, finally something for black people. We're putting her on a $20 bill. And I agree with, I can't remember who it was that said it, but yeah, you want to put a black woman on a $20 bill, but you won't write a check to the black people who the money is actually owed. There are a lot of people, black people, who don't have 5 cents to rub together, let alone a $20 bill. And so the minute we stop falling for such symbolism, then they'll stop giving it to us. At some point in time, we got to actually demand substance and stop falling for, well, we're going to put Harriet Tubman. And then the other part of it that people ain't catching is who's on there right now.
Andrew Jackson, one of the most racist presidents we've ever had next to Trump.
Excuse my French again, get the kids out the room, but the motherfucker that struck down, that vetoed reparations in the first place. And so here these people are trying to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, and they're no better than Andrew Jackson because they won't give black people reparations either. So to me, as black people, I think we need to be like, how dare you insult our intelligence? But part of it, that is our fault because we won't educate ourselves. Instead, we'd rather argue with each other about bullshit and symbolism other than saying, you know what, you right. Let's band together, tell them, as you can keep your symbolism and actually cut the check.
Totally agree. I don't give a damn if you put Lil Walter on the motherfucking $20 bill. You put Muddy Waters on that bitch. I don't care. What the fuck that do for us? And you said everything that I would want to say about it, but the symbolism part of it, and you got so many people celebrating it. Man, fuck all that. The man writing executive orders and he ain't writing shit for us. You don't give you. When the last time you looked at who's on the motherfucking bill? I don't give a fuck. I don't even want to spend a $20 bill. Shit, the only time I see them when I break 100. So if that's the best that we can do, Joe, fuck you with a big fat dick in your mouth.
You know, but the thing is, why is it that the majority of us just okay? Don't get me wrong, a lot of us are waking up, but why is it that this majority of these people want to remain asleep and they don't see the outright disrespect? It's almost like being a Dallas Cowboy fan and you're gonna walk your ass through the airport in Philadelphia with the Dallas Cowboy jersey. You're gonna get your ass whooped if you do that. You know what I mean? You know, it's just, I just don't understand why is it that that is supposed to be okay for Black people and we're supposed to be calm, cool, and collected about getting a black person on a $20 bill or being the first. If you guys have been following my series on Black congressional members ain't shit, that's the name of the series. Every one of them get on there. They were the first this. They were the first that. What? Who gives a shit? You were the first. My brother was the first grandchild. What fucking thing is that gonna do to put money in my pocket or infect my life? Some of you guys are the first child born. You know, I mean, who cares? But that is what they say is supposed to appease us, and we're supposed to be happy with it. And I just don't understand why is it so many Black people are just so happy to emulate a woman who has no record that is positive, that I've researched, that has done for our people, or, you know, anything that, you know, you could really substantively say, oh yeah, you know, she was on it. You know, she did this for us, whatever. You come to California, there is no substantive record that Kamala Harris did anything for Black people except lock them up.
Well, I tell you what, man, you know, DC was once the crack capital of the world. And I think they done left a few pieces around there and them motherfuckers done picked them up. Because the only thing they seem to be talking about for Black people is bullshit. Jim Clyburn with his bullshit, wanting to change a song. Now you got this motherfucker wanting to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Say, man, y'all ain't got nothing else to do for Black people. That's it. Then you go put some anti-racial discrimination shit together for somebody that ain't been through half the shit we've been through. Come on, man. When you motherfuckers gonna hold that bitch accountable up there?
Well, I'll say, and LaShawn, how are you? Says, how do you feel about Biden's executive order for racial equality and stop the contract with private prisons? Well, see, on the surface, it sounds good, you know, because most people, a lot of people, I would say, wanted to have the private prisons done away with, but it actually doesn't affect a lot of prisons. Most people are in jail or in prison on a public level, and so it doesn't really speak to that. From what I understand, it says less than half. That would affect less than 0.5% of people incarcerated in the private prisons. And so, what does that really mean? But of course, they throw those bills out there to try to give people some symbolism again. Oh, Biden, he getting rid of the private prisons, and that really. And I'm not saying that's you, LaShawn, but that's what a lot of people are getting all. I should probably change another word, but moist, for a lack of better words, over some symbolism. But it's really not that if Joe Biden really wanted to do something, he would free the people that he actually locked up under those mandatory minimum bills that he helped create. If he really wanted to do something, he can, with a stroke of a pen, free those people who are now or who have been serving upwards of life sentences or 20 to 30 years on a minimum due to the things that he has done. And let's see here. I saw another question. Red Rose, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, what do y'all think about the Black rioter that was refused bail? You talking about the rioter that was with the MAGA crowd, the Patriots, the insurrection that took place? Well, I mean,
the brother that was looking for a stimmy. Yeah.
No, not him. It's a different guy. A different guy.
The guy that assaulted the cop.
Right. You know, he was in the melee. Well, you know, and I know why you bring it up is because a lot of white patriots, they got bail and they are out, and including the white girl that stole Nancy Pelosi's computer and was going to sell it to the Russians. They are all out on bail, but he was denied bail. Well, I would just simply say this. When you gonna learn, black people, you can't do the same shit white people do and get away with it. Yeah, I mean, you just can't do it. Why would you even try? You was up there cocooning, for lack of better words, because I know we can't say you was up there cocooning, thinking you was in solidarity with those white folks, and now your ass is, you know, in the clink without the bail. So I mean, I don't really feel sorry for him, or you wish him luck. Maybe his homies that he was at the Capitol with help spring him out. I don't know.
I hope he got his beats by Dre and motherfucking an iPod. Because he need to be listening to that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, Little Ghetto Boy. Wake up, jump out my bed. I'm in a 2-man cell with my homie, Lil Half Dead. Your ass half dead. Them people gonna show you. You ain't got no business up there with that bullshit. I told y'all to stay at home, man. You went up there with that bullshit. Now them people won't give you fucking ass bail for nothing. And then he was beating an officer. Out of all the motherfuckers you could find, you went and found him and you deny him bail. Stop running your ass to these motherfucking rallies that ain't got nothing to do with us. You should have stayed your black ass at home, but you chose to go up there. Now deal with it. Don't drop the soap, nigga.
You know, Armand Clemens had a good question. He goes, I don't understand why Biden didn't pass an executive order to hold police departments all across the country to the same standards, make them report police misconduct to the feds and withhold funding based on misconduct. So Armand, you know, that's a good question, but unfortunately, the president, as we have seen, only has jurisdiction on federal property and federal things. So he can't mandate to any police department to do anything. You know, and but isn't that funny how when it comes to certain things that in regards to black people or poor people, they can't, sounds like Obama, doesn't it? I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. But like you said right there, the money, to withhold the money would make them do it. But you're right. Why isn't he mandating any of that stuff? But the problem is the president can't tie the money to it. That takes Congress. It's got to be codified in law through the Congress. So I can see why he wouldn't do it. I'm not making excuses for him. But yeah, just put the order out there and make Congress do what it is, because he has the bully pulpit. He's the leader of the Democratic Party, correct? So he says, this is what I want, Nancy, this is what I want you to do, because this is what I ran on, this is my promise, and I want you to put this for a vote. And notice, Nancy's been awfully quiet when it comes to putting shit on the vote. You got all the votes you need. No reparations is coming to the floor. HR 40 with a monetary provision, that's not coming to the floor. The George Floyd thing, that isn't coming to the floor, because once again, we let everybody cut in front of us while we take a back seat because, oh, we got to get needles in these people's arms. We got to do this. We got to do that first. We got to do that first. No, hell with this pandemic, okay? I don't give a damn about the pandemic. I want my time right now, because we ain't asking for shit that we haven't been asking for over 60 years. Just give us our money. You can deal with the pandemic at the same goddamn time. But see how they put these distractions out so that you guys jump on the everybody train and, oh, what's good for America is good for everybody. So we're going to go ahead and do this. But you're right, though, Armand Clemens. Why can't he mandate something like that?
You got a better shot at getting them motherfuckers to take something to the floor if you was in a club called a little short on something and found you a little person midget dancer and put that wood to them. These people ain't finna do a goddamn thing for us. Nothing. And I don't care if people get mad when we say it. You know what? If you down with Black Lives Matter, you down with helping the black folk, why you white folk ain't screaming for us to get no reparation? Why y'all don't want to get it? We have enough money to move to your neighborhood then. But you ain't gonna let us get that shit. So me, I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, if it happens, it happens, and you know, I'm gonna trick all mine off any motherfucking way on something. I might trick it off on the car or something, but I don't see them doing nothing for us. So sing it with me. You ain't getting a goddamn thing.
And LaShawn, I want to take your comment again. You say the White House earlier Tuesday called the actions, quote unquote, just the start, adding that Biden is committed to working with Congress to pass bold legislation that advances racial equity, including increasing funding for small businesses, investing in historical Black colleges and universities, and other minority services institutions, and tripling funding under the Title I schools, which serve a majority of low-income students. Susan Rice, who is Biden's domestic policy advisor, is one of the highest, and I think you meant ranking members of his cabinet, because the rest of your comment is cut off. Well, wasn't Trump giving money to the HBCUs as well? Well, wasn't he? Wasn't that something? I mean, so what's different?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just want to say, yeah, the HBCUs, he gave them so much money that they don't have to come back to the federal government for 10 years. That's how much money the HBCUs got.
Right. So I'm saying, why are we big up in that Biden is doing it, but when Trump was doing it, it's like, well, you know. And again, LaShawn, I'm not saying that was you, but a lot of many Negroes had a problem with that, and so all of a sudden, you know, we're touting that of Joe Biden in these colleges. But I mean, like, just to start, what does that even mean? That is just a start. He didn't just start when he did everything else for other people. Now, a lot of people say, well, he was undoing the stuff that Trump did. It don't matter. He still has the power of the pen. And there's a lot of things that he could have done to help Black people on day one. But we need to get that out of our vocabulary or our conversation. It's just a start. Oh, he's only 6 days in. Give him a chance. No, Negroes are the only ones that'll help explain why white people keep screwing us over. Oh, well, just wait. Let them stick it in slow. Let him, you know, I should not be so vulgar, but you guys get the point. Like, just to start, like, no, don't just start with us. Joe Biden has been in office almost 50 years. In fact, he's been in the most powerful part of government for most of his political career, and that is of a senator who is in Congress, the part of Congress that enacts or writes laws, rather. They create laws and bills, and so he could have done a whole lot more than just today when he became the president. Congress has the power to actually override him if they really wanted to. And so stop making excuses for Joe Biden doing absolutely nothing specifically for Black people.
Angela Thompson say Nancy working on Trump. It must be with her jaws. She must be working on him with her jaws. You don't get it, but I don't expect you to get it. I mean, it is what it is, man. So, you know, I'm just like, give him time. I ain't giving him shit. You ain't getting no pass from me. You know, because you just steady see things being done for other people in the past 6 days, and ain't shit being done for us. Well, don't expect nothing to be done for us. And if they got all them goddamn votes and they can do whatever they want to do, you know, why won't they just bring it to the floor? Another thing, you're going to learn about these politicians making all these promises that they can't keep. You know, the immigration ban. You know, now all of a sudden that shit got struck down in federal court. So Joe, you're sitting back like, oh shit, I ain't know I couldn't do that one. So what y'all gonna do about that? You see what I'm saying? I'm just showing you that these people, they just say what they gonna do. The shit sound good, and then when they get in there, it is what it is. But I still say, even if it was a joke, Angela, you know, the only thing I can say, if Nancy working on Joe, it must be with her jaws.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Gary. That's a horrible sight to even envision. But I mean, I just can't stress it enough. And LaShawn, thank you for your commentary.
Blame it on the alcohol.
Blame it on alcohol. What you drinking on, Gary?
If Joe smart, if she working on him with her jaws, then, you know, Joe sip that yak and break her back.
Oh my God. Hey, Art, you know what? I'll be meaning to tell you, thank you so much for the hearts. I feel so loved. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, I just really can't reiterate it enough. I mean, we really got to just just educate ourselves a little bit. And I often see us copying and pasting things from Joe Biden's little bills and stuff that he's signing. Like, did you actually read it? Did you actually read it? Like, I saw one day somebody posted his equity bill thing that he signed, and they said, they was like, "Oh, it's for Black people. This is how it's helping Black people." I read through it. I said, it don't say anything specifically for Black people. In fact, on the second paragraph, it says all people. Actually, it's all people of color. So I said, did you even read what you posted? But the problem is, people like that will post those policies and those bills to intimidate people who they know won't read it, and they'll back them down like, oh, I guess he's doing something for Black people. It's like, no, crack it open, read it, and pick it apart and see what it's really saying. It's all really that equity bill that he did an executive order. It's really an all lives matter bill. It's rarely anything to do with Black people. And again, we know what happened with affirmative action, that predominantly benefited white women. And it's the same thing this bill will do. It will benefit everybody but Black people. And one of the main reasons why it benefit everybody but Black people, because we as Black people don't expect it to. We run around saying stuff like, well, he ain't the president of just Black people. He's the president of all people. He's supposed to do something for everybody. But it's like, well, do you expect for him to do anything specifically for you? Like anything. So that's why they won't do it, because they know we come up with the excuses.
But what's crazy is on CNN, there was an article that talked about what he signed into law today, and that Asian discrimination thing or whatever, anti-discrimination Asian thing was specific for them. And what I don't understand, like when I read it, the person that sent it to me was trying to make a point. It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I said, there's nothing in this thing that's specific to Black people. People that come on my page, I always say, show me something specific for Black people. You mean to tell me the very people that put these people in office, you can't draft for us a specific bill or do something for us specifically, not for anybody else? And in the article, it said there specifically for Asians. So I'm like, okay, I got upset, in my way, saying, hey, well, that just proved my point. They could never do anything for us, but when it's everybody else, nobody gets alarmed. Nobody, it's like you and Gary keep saying, they just defend white supremacy until the last stand. And it's like, it's right there in the article. And yet we're wrong for saying what we're saying and doing what we're doing. But a lot of you guys out there are waking up, and and I'm glad to see that. But I don't understand, why is it that when it's right there in your face, they are basically shitting on your dashboard? These people don't even see it. They're like, well, who's your friend, Demetria? You got that one friend? Well, Joe Biden did it. I'm just like, oh my God. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Armand Clemens say, what's y'all opinion on the gender bill preventing trans women playing in girl sports? You a boy, Damon. You a boy. Look, man, we found every reason in the world to change things and try to justify it and make it right. I think my sisters, no matter what color they may be, have come a long way. Leave them alone. But then you got what? Do y'all have a problem with me joining the girls softball team? Do you have a problem with me joining the girls basketball team? What kind of sense would that make? And I'd be horrible at both sports, I can honestly tell you. But at the end of the day, I don't like it. I think this agenda is being pushed on people, and it really needs to stop. It realistically needs to stop. I'm sorry. No, no, no. You know, you're trying to push the toilets on us. Yeah, I don't, you know, you want me to tell you the real, Demetri? I really wouldn't care if a woman was in the bathroom with me. She could come up in there and use the bathroom if she wanted, you know. Don't get mad if I'm looking at your ass. It is what it is. But some things we going a little bit too far with it, man. And if you ask me my opinion on it, you a boy, Damon.
Listen, I'm not trying to step on no toes. I try not to anyway. I don't really have a dog in a fight with who sleeps with who and all of that. I have varying views on it. I'll just say that much. But why would you, as a man, biologically speaking, I know you might want to put on a wig and some lipstick and, you know, stuff your bra and all of that, but biologically as a man, why would you want to get in the arena with women who you are more than likely by nature stronger than, faster than? It's not to put women down. I mean, most men are more dominant physically than women in sports. And so here you are with your wig on, you know, and your butt pads, and you running up and down the track smoking all the women on. Like, you proud of that? You really trying to raise your hand in victory that you beat women who you are already, like, do you not have any honor in the sports, or are you just being a douche and you just want to get in there just to say you won something, or you want to prove to people I am a woman and I can do what women do? Okay, cosmetically speaking, you may be that, but you're not biologically speaking. So why would you even be proud to enter into any arena sports-wise with a woman and then beat her? And then, you know, I'm like confused by that.
Well,
there was some sort of like, I mean, I ran track, and I don't think that I would feel good about cheating my way, you know, into a victory, because to me, that's what it is. It's cheating.
Yeah, okay. So Juwanna Mann, I had to laugh at that, because if you guys saw that movie, that's an example of what's going to happen to women's sports when you let these transgender guys in. Now, the NBA loses, they said, annually. The WNBA has never made money. Okay, women's sports, it's bad enough that it's taken over 20 years for these women to even get equity pay. You know, whenever they bring up the equity pay in women's sports, well, you know, Sue Bird is a champion and she did all these great things. Yes, Sue Bird is awesome. I love WNBA. I was a season ticket holder for the LA Sparks. Awesome thing, right? She had the same titles as LeBron, whatever, but she doesn't even crack $1 million. She doesn't even crack $300,000. So now you women should be up in arms about this law, because now these guys, I mean, you take the G League basketball player, male basketball player, he can still beat the best WNBA player. You guys should be up in arms, because now you're going to have men that are going to dominate your sport. You know, like I said, I wouldn't mind making $300,000 a year playing basketball for the WNBA, or $100,000 a year. You know, I mean, it's going to be no big deal. But you know, look at how this stuff is thrown down our throats, and we're all cool with it. This, for some of us, especially our Black women, this is a great way to make money and venture into other venues. But no, we're Democrats. We're going to just roll with it and let this small group of people dictate to the majority of us. It's not right.
Linda Fields say trans are girls in the brain mentally, male in the body physically. And we don't seem to have a problem with that. Well, when it comes to sports, you have a problem with women in sports. Didn't they just have a problem with the little girl at Vanderbilt that was kicking field goals on the fucking football team? You had a problem with that. So why don't you have a problem when these males want to go over here and compete in women? Listen to what I'm saying. A male competing in women sports. let me talk to the Christians for a second. Because I know you've altered your slave manual, which is your Bible. You've made it fit anything that you considered was an agenda that needed to be changed. But all of this stuff that's going on where, you know, it's crazy because, you know, the one place, Demetri and Donovan, where you don't really hear about the transgender thing popping like it need to pop is when they go to jail. Because when you go to jail, you're going to pull them boxes out your ass and they're going to put you in that tank with the men. You tell me if you heard anything different. Say, man, you could be whatever you want to be. But to be a male athlete, to try to dominate female sports, you weak as fuck, man. You a sucker, man. You weak as hell, man. But I bet you pull them boxes out your ass in that county jail, though.
Son Kemet, what's happening, man? I was laughing at his comment. Let me get back to it. He says, first white woman to get her ass beat by a Negro on the dress, they changed the law anyway. That's when all bets are going to be off, okay? Yeah, like Ronda Rousey, I saw somebody mention her when she was trying to fight Floyd Mayweather, you know, because everybody's talking about he was a woman beater. She get in the ring and, you know, and do work on him. Well, we saw how that, you know, worked out for her when she got her ass beat by that woman. So, but no, I totally agree with you. But like I said, I mean, I don't care who you sleep with, how many wigs you wear and all of that. But I think when your rights infringe upon, you know, the rights of other people, I mean, you think about it. You know, for let's say you have a daughter, a real daughter, I ain't talking about no trans daughter, okay? A real daughter who has been training her whole life, you know, in track and field. From a baby, you know, running all up and down the track and field. She's great at what she does. You know, she's all league and, you know, championship. And she's, you know, on the verge of getting a scholarship. And here comes this trans, you know, I'm going to be nice. This trans woman, I guess, if that's the right term, trans woman, that's now a she, decides, well, I want to run track now. So your daughter, who has trained very hard her whole life, is getting whooped by this dude who's now a woman who is physically stronger than her. So how is that fair? Like, why is that fair? And if I was any of these women or girls that were competing in these sports, and a dude who's a lady now wants to come in and compete, I would just forfeit and say, we're not going to do it. Let's all identify as something else and form our own league and let he and she have it. But I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't subject myself to that. I'd let them do it all by themselves.
I'm going to co-sign on that real quick now. Demetri just said that she ran track. Okay, and she did. She did. Now, if you guys aren't aware, Demetri has a lot of junk in her trunk. So she's already, a lot of you sisters are dragging that behind you. So you're already at a disadvantage when it comes to speed. So if a dude comes in there with, you know, no flat butt, you know, we're pretty, you know, symmetrical. You know, how can you guys compete? How can you compete? It's incredible. It's incredible.
The whole thing is just a plot to demasculate black men. You know, it starts with certain people, and then you're demasculating the black man. You know, I mean, it's a lot of reasons why black men are not in the household and different things like that when it comes to black men, and we not stepping up and all that there, you know. But the whole thing is you're taking the strong black men and you're turning them into black women and you're saying that shit is cool. No, it really ain't cool, man. It really ain't cool. That's depopulation in itself. No matter how you take it, and I was talking to you Christians, all this shit going on and the kids, and you to put the kids in the mix. Ain't some of this shit an abomination in your slave manual? Or did God get it wrong on that day and your pastor got it right, you know, millions of years later? That shit is an abomination, man. That's why I can't even pick up your slave manual to read it. Because everything that's in there, y'all switching it around, you trying to make it right when the shit just flat out wrong. let's just be honest. It was certain things that were just for girls. You think I'm on the sideline, I'm sweating, I'm in the middle of a state championship run, I'm about to sip some water, and we broke the state scoring record, and a lot of people don't know how we did it. And I'm going to tell you how we did it, and I'm being honest. Anybody from the team will tell you, Donovan and Dimitri. We had the finest cheerleaders you could ever lay eyes on. And it looked like every time the offense was on the field, they would do a pyramid. So when they did the pyramid, you could see everything. Everything. So the only way we could get a close-up of the pyramid, we had to hurry up and score. So it was plays being changed, everything for us to get to the sidelines. Now I'm saying this, I don't want nobody to get mad now. Do you really think when I had them binoculars on the sideline and I'm looking at the pyramid, I wanted to see some nuts hanging? Fuck no! Cheerleaders were girls, man. Girls track team were girls, man. Girls basketball, women's basketball. Bring your ass to this gridiron so we can deal with your homeboy, but I don't want to see no nuts hanging on no pyramid, man.
Yeah, and that brings up another thing. Now, in the 1970s, I think it was, isn't that when they passed Title IX? Because women weren't even allowed to have their own separate sports outside of cooking and maybe a few like baseball or something like that. So they created Title IX, which said that women have to have similar sports to male. That's why you have the basketball team, you have the baseball team, in college sports, all these other things. So now you want to get rid of Title IX after a 30, 40-year run and women struggling to fight for it. Now you just want to throw that out the window because a person identifies as a female. Women should be up in arms. I mean, and Jeffrey McFarland said that. Women should be going ham right now.
I think they should be going ham because that was their thing. Just let them do what they do. I don't want to go to no WNBA game and see Montel on the motherfucking court. I come here to see Sue Bird. I come here to see the great ones, Cynthia Cooper, man. I don't want to see no dude on no court, man. And those that don't have a problem with it, it's his mentality. Fucking, yeah, you're right. Because they done fucked our heads up.
Well, and think about this 5-star. The WNBA already gets a bad rap for the alternative women that play in it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they're not generating a lot of money, because nobody wants to see these alternative women play basketball. Because if that's the case, I'd go watch the men play basketball. And that's one of the problems that they're having identifying in the WNBA, because it seems to a lot of people, and this is what they say, because don't come for me, because Dimitri will tell you I was a ticket holder. The LGBTQ community, a lot of people. I mean, think about it. Who wants to take their children to an event that is predominantly an alternative lifestyle as a family event? A lot of people don't want to do that, and that's one of the problems the WNBA is having, in the fact that they have alternative lifestyle players. Now you want to incorporate men who identify as women, that league would be destroyed. I mean, within a year, maybe a year or two.
I want to take this comment. Red Rosea. You say, I wouldn't want to be in the bathroom with a transgender. Hell, I'm scared to go in a public bathroom with anybody. That's why I find the bathroom for mommy and baby. And then Joanne, I think you're responding to her. You say, I'm right. How do you know they're not dressed up to do harm? And I just kind of want to dispel this myth that people who are of the homosexual community and transgenders, that they are driven by pedophilia or rape and all that. That's not true. In fact, straight people, and specifically straight men, do more of that than they do. So I don't know how we get that confused. And I'm not saying that to you specifically, Red or Joanna, but I don't know how we get that confused that because they are transgender that they're after you, you know, like they're going to do harm to you. That's, I'm not saying it's absolutely not the case, but it's not the case like we gin it up in our minds to be. I think there are people who, for whatever reason, they don't identify with what they were born. They identify as something else. And, you know, that has to be a hard burden to bear. I don't think that's something a lot of them are joyous about, if that makes any sense. But I don't think we should further a narrative that's founded in falsehoods that they're out to do people harm. That's not the case.
And I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, I tell people, you know, I say some things, and some days people, oh, he's homophobic. No, I'm not. I'm fucking real. I'm real. And I'm just saying it, man, that I ain't never had a fight with a gay person. Never. I got a problem with you straight motherfuckers. I ain't never had a fight with a gay person. So I'm going to go pro heterosexual right now. I don't see a problem with men playing sports with men. I don't see a problem with women playing sports with women. I don't see a problem with men going into the bathroom that they supposed to go into and staying out the other bathroom. If you can have an opinion on your side, we can have an opinion on our side. Just because that's what you want to be into, God bless you, that don't mean that we have to like it and we have to be silent on it, because you're not being silent on pushing your agenda. You're not being silent on pushing your agenda. I say the whole culture is designed to demasculate black men. That's what I feel, and I'm not going to change that for anybody that feels any different about what I'm saying. And that's what it is. I stand up for the heterosexual culture. You know, I like pussy. Head and more head.
Well, say it for the ones in the back, but don't you? We heard you. We don't have to say. Joanna and bless you. That was Al. He was sneezing. So you want to clear it up and say shit happens. How do I know it's not a straight man dressed in that manner? I should not have to decipher that in the restroom. I mean, yeah, you know, there's a lot of sadistic dudes running around trying to do a whole lot of stuff, but that's still not on the transsexual community. If a straight man wants to run around in a dress, you know, attacking women, I mean, I just, yeah, how do you know, right? How do you know that they're going to do that? You don't. But I wouldn't charge that to their community. That's, again, a straight man using technology to harm other people. And so, you know, I get it though.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I agree with you on that. I mean, if somebody is trans, and that doesn't mean that they're gonna do something violent. That doesn't mean they're gonna do something sexual, because most of the crimes I've been monitoring in the city of Houston being done by straight motherfuckers. They've been done by straight people. So you can't push all that on them because of their sexual orientation. And I don't really give a damn what you sleep with, who you sleep with, how you do it. But I would never feel comfortable with a man that identifies as a woman being in the bathroom with my daughter. I'm sorry, I'm not going. I'm not going for that.
Can I ask y'all a question? How do you know? How would you know? And trust me, like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. But how would you know that a man or a woman is in the bathroom with you? Like when I go in the bathroom, I don't be pull your pants down. Let me see before I go do my thing. I don't be focused on that. Because most of the time when I gotta go to a public restroom, which I rarely do, is because I rarely gotta go. So I'm not stopping and taking an inventory of everybody that's in there. And I think that's just us in a way being just a little bit narcissistic and thinking, as I'm here taking a pee, somebody who ain't supposed to be in this bathroom is coming to look at me. Like, really?
Look at the Adam apple. I'm looking at Adam apples.
Well, you know, somebody asked earlier in the comments about transgender in the military. Now, I knew it was time for me to leave the military when the transgender thing went down. And the reason of that is because for the 20 plus years that I was in the military, they told me that that lifestyle is not compatible with the military. It just isn't, because if you're out there deployed for a very, very long time, and it's not that I'm afraid of them or whatever, but being out in the field, and I'm worried about this guy over here, or girl, whichever he identifies himself. Because as you guys have heard the stories of the sexual trauma that goes on in the military, and there's a lot of sexual assault. Do not let anybody tell you that there isn't. There is a lot of sexual assault in the military, okay, especially against the females. The transgender guys, they don't even put up those numbers. Those transgender guys, or whatever these things are, people are, they get assaulted a lot. It goes unreported because, again, you're out there in a field. You got to shower with this person. You got to sleep with this person. There has been, even in my unit, I remember there was an incident where the guys were sleeping in their barracks or whatever they were doing. And the one guy took liberty, with the other guy. Almost got killed. I had to, it was just a big fiasco. And I'm not saying this is every transgender person like that, but a situation like that, it really is, it's not. In that career field, I do not believe, Donovan's opinion only, that it's compatible with military service, because I can't be in a foxhole with you and I'm worried about you doing something to me, as well as these people out here who definitely are going to do something to me. It's a hard buy.
The United States government is moving so fast to accommodate a certain ethnicity, or whatever you want to call them, of people. We tripping on bathrooms, and you making it so accommodating. You fixing that problem. How long did it take y'all motherfuckers to fix that problem with black people going into the same bathroom as white people? It took you forever to address that fucking shit. But now I don't think it's a problem, because everywhere you go now, there's a men's restroom, there's a women's restroom, and there's a unisex restroom. You could go in the unisex restroom, bro. I'd rather go in the unisex restroom anyway. They stay cleaner. I fly all the time, so I'm in the airport, and that's what I look for. You can go in the men's bathroom, be all men in there, and every now and then you catch one of them sneaky motherfuckers trying to look at your dick or something, because they dirty, they nasty. I just think that the U.S. government gonna fix whatever they want to fix for whoever they want to fix it for, and it's all about who has the money. The LGBTQ community has a bunch of money, and whatever their issues are, they're going to address them expeditiously. Black people, we don't have no money. That's why they ain't talking to you, and they just saying fuck you and putting somebody's face on the money that you can't even spend.
Yeah, and think about this real quick.
Hold on a second. Let me address this. Francina, you say, what about the children? I mean, what about the children? I mean, like I said, you don't know who's in the bathroom with you. I mean, I just don't see people really being that focused on it. And, no shade. And I'm not saying this pertaining to you specifically, but hell, most people should worry about the uncle or the cousin or the stepdaddy or the mama boyfriend around their kids than they should somebody in the bathroom. Most people go to the bathroom and mind their own business. And I'll be honest with you, I've accidentally, now I do mean accidentally now, walked into many of a man's restroom and was like, ooh, I'm in the wrong bathroom. I've even gone into the ones, and I thought, well, this is weird. Why is there a urinal? Because I'm kind of slow like that. So why is there a urinal in a woman's restroom? And then when I hear a dude come in, I'm like, oh my God. Now, imagine if somebody would have said, oh, you're just trying to come in here and look at us, just listen, dude, I really did accidentally come in here. I wasn't paying attention. But what about the children? I really think we should teach our children tolerance. I'm not saying tolerance should be confused with agreement.
Acceptance, right.
Acceptance, but we should teach them tolerance and teach them the truth. They have to worry about a straight man doing something more than a person walking in a woman's restroom with a wig and a dress on.
Now, when you kept walking in the bathroom, was that at 29 Palms or was that at Norton?
I did that on purpose.
Okay, gotcha. No, but the transgender issue in the military. You guys think about this, especially you guys that have been in the military or kind of know about the military. One thing about the military is you're supposed to be fearless. You're supposed to be scary. You're supposed to be serious. How would you like a transgender man on the front lines representing the United States military, the most powerful military in the world? He got his weed swirled up here. He's got his earrings on. He's got his blush. He's got his eyelashes. Who's going to be afraid of that? Who's going to be afraid of that? Think about it.
Not me. Not me. I ain't finna be in no foxhole with your homeboy. Because there's some holes you really want to be up in. I ain't gonna be up in there. I'm just telling you the real. So, my thing is I had ex-wife had a friend he gave me and him was super tight. Super tight. Because he carried himself a certain way. I just think that when it comes to kids, that the whole culture, it's like you're forcing it on them babies, man. You could teach your kid anything at an early age. You could teach them mathematics. You could teach them how to read. You could teach them anything. Why would you teach them that? That's your lifestyle. Why force it on a child and confuse a child? Them children become confused. They don't know what to do. I will say I've contributed to the culture of bringing folk back. Now, Donovan and Dimitri, you don't know what that means. I've contributed to the culture of bringing folk back. I done got me a couple of gay girls, and I done brought them back to the other side. Because ain't nothing like the dick.
And let's see here. I want to take Gary. I'm not even going to respond to that mess. Laura, how you doing from YouTube? He says, come on, tell the truth and shame the devil. Love the show. Y'all are doing a fantastic job giving us information because man should be with women, and women should be with men. That's God's will. Per the Bible, it says that. And again, I don't have a dog in the fight. But I also know that God gives you free will. He gives you free will to choose what you want to do. You follow his way or you follow your way, but ultimately the choice is yours. And so, I guess while it's written that he would have you be with that, he still gives you free choice and free will. And so I also believe that it's not our job to impose things on people that they don't want imposed upon him, then whether I agree with it or not. And again, that's not to say that I am in agreement with, the things like Joe Biden did as far as the transgenders being able to enter into women's sports. I'm not in agreement with that. But I think at the same time, we should be tolerant and allow people to do what they want as long as they are not harming other people. And I'm going to say it again. We are so focused on their community and we give people passes in our community. You guys have seen the footage in Harlem where a black woman was jumped on by two black dudes because she refused their advances. She didn't want to give them her number. They beat her up, bit her in her eye, and robbed her because she told them no. And so now the people in Harlem, a lot of black men are standing up in defense of her. And it sounds like they have located these dudes and they mean to hold them accountable. And to me, I think that's a wonderful thing. And we should have that happen more often. If we do that and start holding our own people accountable and start focusing on those are straight dudes. I'm quite sure. Those are straight dudes that jumped on that woman right outside of that liquor store because she told them no. But we focused on somebody going into a damn bathroom with a dress and a wig on who ain't even paying you no mind. They're not looking at your children more. And I'm not saying they don't, but I think we're overblowing the truth. And the truth is, focus on the people who are near and dear to you who have gotten away with touching somebody's 13-year-old daughter, and then you blame her for being fast. Focus on that kind of stuff.
Well, if they want to watch pedophiles, watch the motherfuckers in your house. Watch them uncles and watch your brothers, and you need to watch them because that happens far more than the numbers tell it. I mean, it just doesn't happen as much as the regular person, becoming a pedophile and bothering your children. I just have a problem with folks pushing this wheel on babies. And I call them babies because that's what they are. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. Let a child be a child, man. Let a child enjoy his childhood years. But don't confuse them. When you confuse them, that's when you start having problems, and kids start dealing with issues on school campuses and different things. But I think this thing has gone way too far, you know, to like in schools. It's nothing to walk into school and see two girls hugged up together walking down the hallway, or boys holding hands. Can you do that shit on your job? As much as y'all talk that shit some days, do that shit on your job and see what happens. But if you say something about it on your job, you might lose your job. But they ain't gonna let this go on. So if you're not willing to go all out with it, then something ain't right about it. That's just the way that I feel. Donovan, final thought.
Final thoughts. Again, let's give Joe Biden some time, y'all. He's only been in office 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, a whole term. Oops, the Republicans took over. 4 years later, there's a new Democrat in office. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 term, 2 terms. Oops, didn't do nothing for us. Let's give him some time, y'all. How much time are we going to continue to keep resetting and resetting and resetting? We're running out of time. That is a fact. You could argue everything you want to argue. Pandemic was not planned. They're saying this pandemic is going to go for another year. We are running out of time as a people. The Black wealth is being taken as we stand. For those Black businesses that are still in existence right now during this pandemic, how long are they going to hold on? How many of them are going to go out of business? Then what? We're going to be at the mercy of these corporations and this government. And when you have no money and no wealth to control the politicians and the politics and the economics within your community, you are now a problem. And they will deal with a problem in a certain way.
So I want to end my final thoughts with this. Let's see here. Cam Rock, how you doing with the no profile picture? You said God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, nor Eve and Louise. You know what else God told you to do? He told you to mind your business. Study to be quiet and work with your hands as they have instructed you. And I'm assuming they being the Trinity. Instructed you to do so that you will have a good life. It also says, while you worrying about the splinter in somebody else's eye, worry about the log in your eye. And so I say that because we like to pick and choose the parts of the Bible to condemn and convict other people with, but we never apply it to our lives. And that's what's wrong with us. I think as Black people, part of what's wrong with us, we so busy focused on everybody else and the low-hanging fruit to where we don't live the lives that we are meant to live because we're so distracted. Who gives a good goddamn who walks into the bathroom as long as they ain't messing with you? You go into the stall by yourself unless you up to some freaky stuff. That's your business. But you go in the stall by yourself. You shouldn't be worried about who's in the bathroom with you and all of that other stuff. But we really should be minding our own business. And so that's all I got to say.
My final thought is whatever floats your boat, that's your business, man. I ain't getting off in your business. I don't care who you sleep with, how you do it. I don't care, man. That's your business. I don't study the culture. I don't have a lot of inside information on it. I don't even worry about it. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm like, Demetri, man, worry about you. Everybody worry about you. I'm worried about me. So, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. When I go up in the toilet, you don't want to be up in there any motherfucking way. I'm going to tell you now, because you're gonna need about 30, 45 minutes when I come up out of there to readjust before you go up in there any motherfucking way. So if you're a man or a woman, you're going to take that bass out your voice when I finish hitting in there. I'm just telling you what it is, man. Say, man, another spirited discussion from the best in the business. I want to thank you for tuning in, man. I want to say thank you to my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general Hey, man. It ain't never personal. It's just real. And if it's too real for you, it might not be where you need to be at 7 o'clock every night. We don't keep it 100, man. To my straight homies, I salute you. To my gay homies, I salute you. To my trans friends, I salute you too. It is what it is, but leave my motherfucking babies alone. Until tomorrow night, I'll holler at you, man.